Now, after Salesforce, I do want to go back to some of the good stuff. Dropbox was the second fastest software company to hit $1 billion in revenue from founding. But since you guys have gone public, your rate of growth has been decelerating. Some analysts are actually questioning whether Dropbox is really a high-growth name anymore. Tell me first why growth has been decelerating, the rate has been decelerating.
Well, I mean, we're operating at bigger scale than we were when we talked about that a couple of years ago. And we're still growing. So we had a good quarter. We beat expectations. We actually raised guidance for the year. So there's still a lot of good stuff in there. And obviously, we're very focused on growth, and more is better. And in this quarter, we've also been focused on the product front. So we launched the new Dropbox, which is the biggest change we've ever made to the experience. And the new Dropbox helps you organize your working life across all the different productivity suites and tools that you're using. So we still have a huge opportunity in front of us.
Now, the goal for Dropbox is to get more users to pay for the product, but we actually saw the slowest growth in paid users since you guys went public as well. Tell me what's behind that and how you get that rate up again.
Well, I think we focus on both growing numbers of subscribers and the amount of revenue per subscriber. Those are both going to fluctuate at any given time. And we're operating at bigger scale. But what we're focused on with the new Dropbox is solving new problems for our customers. And so if you go way back, the problem we were solving for people is like, hey, I forgot my thumb drive. I don't want to have that problem anymore. And the problem we see now, and the big growth opportunity for us, is the experience of using technology at work has become really fragmented and overwhelming. And I think we're all kind of suffering from this information overload, and we don't see anyone solving that problem. So that's a big opportunity for us, and that's what the new Dropbox is about.
In terms of workplace collaboration, you don't see many others solving that?
We see a lot of people adding more stuff.
Right.
We don't see anyone pulling it all together.
I would ask then, what about Microsoft and how you think of the competitive landscape? Because it feels like to me they are making a big push into this space with OneDrive. It's free. It goes in with 365, integrating it with 365, excuse me. So how does Dropbox continue to compete? And do you not see that as them trying to go down the same road as you guys?
Well, I think Microsoft's going to do a good job of keeping track of Microsoft stuff. But the reality is, when we talk to our customers, everybody's using everything. So they're using PowerPoints, but they have Google Docs, and they are using Slack and Zoom and Dropbox. And then you have a new challenge, because Microsoft's not going to help you pull all that together. You're not going to see support for Google Docs in OneDrive anytime soon. In fact, you're not going to see any support for cloud content in general in OneDrive, or certainly not right now. And that's what the new Dropbox is about, is we've moved beyond files. So to date, you've only been able to put files in your Dropbox, and we've evolved the experience from being kind of this magic folder to this magic workspace, where you can have your PowerPoints next to your Google Docs, next to Dropbox Paper Docs, next to Trello boards, next to anything you have. And it's a more engaging experience. It's this living workspace where instead of just seeing lists of files, you can see people and activity, you can Slack people.
Right. And you've made some really interesting partnerships over the last quarter. You referenced the new desktop app, which integrates some of the hottest enterprise companies right now, Slack, Zoom. How did that come about? And what do you think is going to make users come to Dropbox to use Slack versus Slack to use Dropbox?
Well, when we watch our customers, it's that what we saw is that they're using both, but they're constantly having to toggle back and forth. And more broadly, people are, on average, having to toggle between dozens of different apps a day. And then what that means is you're constantly cutting and pasting, and it's not an integrated experience. And historically, we've been limited because you just use Dropbox within the operating system in the background. Now we have an entirely new foreground desktop app where you can see all your content, but then I can Slack you from Dropbox. I can start a Zoom meeting with you from Dropbox. The benefit is you don't have to keep going back and forth between different apps. It's a much more integrated experience. And so the integrations help you move back and forth seamlessly as if we were all part of one suite.
Right. But again, I just wonder, communication has become so important. What is going to make people go to Dropbox to use Slack versus the opposite?
Well, you have to think about what are people talking about, right? And the fact that we focus on content is actually one of our biggest advantages, because so many workflows in a company revolve around content. And when you think about, well, what are people talking about in Slack? It's often a document that lives in Dropbox. And the new Dropbox helps you bring, instead of that conversation happening over here and the content being in Dropbox, we bring those together. We're bringing the context and the conversations around your content in one place, so you don't have this switching back and forth.
Now, you raised prices on your Plus plan a few months ago, and this quarter we didn't see as high growth in those paid users. Was it the right time to do that? How are you seeing this playing out for the rest of the year?
Well, we added a lot to our Plus plan too. So we doubled the amount of storage. We made features like Smart Sync and others, which have been really available in our first tier paid plan. So that in conjunction with a price change. So we did that because we realized we're providing a lot of value to users, and we always want to keep the value we're creating for our users and the value we're creating for our business.
So then is this sort of short-term pain? Are you going to see your paid users increase at a higher rate later on? Is that what you anticipate?
I mean, it's all performing according to our expectations, so we don't expect to see a lot of pain from this. We think it'll be good for us and good for users.
Now, you did IPO more than a year ago now at $21 a share. Since then, you guys have really traded around $21 a share. What are investors maybe missing here, especially when you see others like Atlassian really take off?
Well, I mean, to me, it's really that, there's a lot of, we had a good quarter. We've been beating expectations consistently. We've been raising guidance. But I think, to me, what it says is we have more work to do to educate investors on our hybrid model, which really combines some of the best elements of consumer internet and conventional enterprise software, but doesn't look quite like either one. Now, the benefits combined are a really profitable and scalable model. You can see that in the numbers. But we got to help people understand that and help people understand why we're so confident about our future.
Right now, I remember covering you guys when you were going public, and you were really talking about having this consumer model and this viral adoption to get enterprises on board. Are you still seeing that? Has the sales strategy changed over the last year or so?
No, that model has worked really well for us since the beginning, and that's how we reach hundreds of thousands of business customers, is by people using Dropbox at home, bringing it into work, and then you start using it in a team, and then a team becomes a department, becomes a company. It's a super efficient and scalable model because it doesn't mean we have to rely on a huge army of salespeople. Our users spread the product for us.
Is that successful in getting you some of the bigger enterprises? Can you give us any color about the breakdown and whether you're getting not just small and medium, but really large corporations on board with Dropbox?
Well, 80% of our 13 million subscribers are using Dropbox for work, and they're in companies of all sizes. And we certainly have, at this point, we have a bunch of 10,000 seat or multi-10,000 seat deployments, but all of them started as someone just bringing Dropbox into work and then expanding from there.